G'day guys, it's Snazzbot here, and today I'm going to show you how to build a cottage in Minecraft in the style that you see behind me here. So here's a quick time lapse of the style of build that I'm going to be showing you in this video today. Anyway, so here's the finished product of this small Minecraft cottage. So let's just jump straight in and let's look at a few ways how to build this. So obviously the first thing we're going to be looking at when figuring out how to make this style of build is going to be the block palette that we use. So I've set out all the blocks before. We're using barrels, stripped oak, white wool, oak planks, glass panes, bricks, oak stairs, trapdoors, dark oak door because I just preferred the dark oak door, but anything could work, some leaves, cobble and andesite. Anyway, so let's get into it. To start off making this build, the major shape of the cottage is actually just going to be a bunch of squares. It doesn't actually necessarily have to be one square. Here you can see I've made two different types of squares, and I've started with a base 1 block high layer, which is a foundation, which is going to be cobblestone. Next I'm going to fill in the basic shape of the walls. I've chosen to use white wool here. Obviously if you're building in survival or for other purposes you can use other similarly coloured materials like concrete or quartz or clay. This cottage is going to be 2-storey, and just as a way to differentiate the 2 stories, I'm going to take our detail block here, which is going to be the oak planks, and just do one layer of it just to separate the 2 floors. Now it's going to have a split roof, so one roof is going to be highest, and as you see I build up one side of the roof here, and now I'm going to build the other. For the roof, it's just your basic 1x1 block triangle that's made out of the oak planks here, and then a layer of the oak stairs are going to be replaced on top of that just to finish off the roof with a 1 block overhang on each side. We're just going to join the 2 roofs in together, add a T there, and now we've got our 2 levels of roof. The next step in the build process, now that we've got our full shape down, is to use the oak planks and the stripped oak logs in order to build out our exterior details. As you can see here, I'm using the oak logs as a kind of pillars. I've capped the top of each of these logs whenever I've used them with a barrel, just to make it sort of a more uniform and aesthetically pleasing look. So here I've built out a front deck as well as a small balcony on the taller side of the house. Trapdoor blocks are some of my favourite blocks to use for detailing in Minecraft, and here you can see I've added them to the pillars to add a 3-dimensional sort of look at where they join onto the actual floor. The next step in the build is to add the windows and doorways in. Now windows here are just simple glass panes, 1 block wide by 1 to 2 blocks high, and I've built a sort of window canopy above each one of them using small details, whether it be stairs, slabs, or again using these trapdoor blocks. I think it's important to remember that this build can actually be built in many different shapes. The style is what's important. So as you can see, this is actually quite a bit smaller than the one I time-lapsed earlier, but it can also be scaled up to be much bigger. You can add windows, doors, different shapes, several different roof layers. It's really all up to your imagination. Maybe in a later video I might go through some more specific details, but really this video is just designed to give you a basis to experiment with this style yourself and to see what unique creations that you're able to make whilst using this style as sort of as a guide for your own build. Of course, being a small cottage, I think this build is pretty suitable for a lot of different biomes, but my favourite would be the flower plains biome. So I've gone through in this next step, and it's to add flower boxes, pots on top of balconies and decks, as well as just making little feeder pots made out of grass with sides of trapdoors, and adding any flowers we want in. Following on from this, I've moved on to just the final exterior detailing. A good way for a weathered look and a weathered cottage is to replace random selection of blocks in the walls with the andesite block, because that andesite is a higher texture block, so it gives an appearance as though the walls have been weathered. Then finally, exterior lighting, whether you want to use torches. I think lanterns are personally better suited for this style of build. And finally, adding a quaint little chimney on top, which I've chosen to use a brick block for, just to differentiate it from the rest of the build. Anyway guys, that's going to be it for this build style guide today. If you have any questions, leave them below in the comments. If you like what you see, maybe give me a like. Anyway, cheers, bye.